Hello. So, look, I know it's been a while. I know it's been roughly, what was that, like 4 months by now? 3 months?
Nope.
Something like that. But, look, I've been gone a while, and today I'm gonna bring something a little different than usual, but I hope you guys do enjoy it. So let's get right into it. There are many games that were great, but there's one game franchise that was ahead of all the other games, and that was the Fable franchise. This franchise was perfect and covered everything that I believe a role-playing game should cover. I will talk about the first Fable game and how it was so ahead of its time, and how it's the start of one of the greatest role-playing game franchises of all time. So with that in mind, let's get right into the video. Let's go. If we're gonna talk about the first Fable game, it's only fair to talk about the rocky launch that it had. The first Fable game had 3 different versions, so it could be kinda confusing when you talk about it. But don't even worry, once I explain it, it will all make sense. Fable 1 was released in 2004, but the game was not completed. A year later in 2005, Fable The Lost Chapters was released. This was pretty much a finished version of the first game, hence The Lost Chapters. Then, Fable Anniversary came out in 2014. This game was pretty much a remastered version of Fable The Lost Chapters. The only difference was the graphics and the game controls. So hopefully that clears up any confusion. So you see, the problem with the first game is that there were so many promises that were never delivered by the game developers. Because of that, there was so much backlash and the game was close to being done for. But fortunately for us though, a year has gone by and Fable The Lost Chapters has came out. Sadly, people were very skeptical about the launch of this game because of how the previous launch was. Although the 2005 launch was much better, many were pretty disappointed because they didn't deliver all the promises that were being said. Many years later, we got Fable Anniversary, aka the remastered version of Fable The Lost Chapters. So the gameplay you'll be seeing in this video will be from Fable Anniversary. Alright, we're gonna tap into the story of the game. So you start the game off as a young boy whose name was never mentioned. He lives in a small town of Oakvale. On this very day, it is his sister's birthday and he forgot to give her a gift. Isn't that some bullshit? There you meet the hero's father, and he has a proposition for you. Do 5 good deeds and he will award you gold for each good deed that you complete. Now, this is where the morality system is introduced into the game. You make choices that determine if your hero is good or evil, but we're gonna take a pause on that and we'll come back to this later in the video. The hero then proceeds to buy chocolate from the sketchiest guy with the most horrendous mustache out there. And since we're so nice, we decide to bring the chocolates to our sister, and out of nowhere she says, "Hey, I had a dream last night." But then of course, out of nowhere, she decides to tell me that she forgot what she dreamt about. Like, why would she ever think to do that to me? But you wouldn't guess what happened, or maybe you did, but bandits came and started slaughtering everybody and destroying everything that they could. So the hero had no other choice but to hop over the fence and sneak 100 this shit. Like he was hiding behind a fence with open holes and somehow got away with everything. Don't ask me how he did it, but he just did. After witnessing all the damage done to his village, he witnesses his father's dead body. And there he meets a wizard, and for some reason this dude pops out of thin air, like he just appeared. And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm Maze." And then he decides to recruit this kid and take him to the guild, where he'll spend years honing his skills and becoming one of the strongest warriors there is. When he gets to the guild, he meets his roommate Whisper, who was also a newly recruit who trained together with the hero. Then the little boy became a teenager and he was ready for the world of Albion. Then Maze explains to the hero that his sister is actually alive. Shocker, but not really. So he sets on a quest to find his sister. As his adventure goes on, he encounters a hero named Twin Blades. Twin Blades was a leader of a bandit camp. Now, I'm gonna take a quick pause here because you might be wondering, why am I calling this evil bastard a hero? Well, it's because it turns out the term hero refers to as those who are the chosen one or those who are the strongest. So then the hero has a fierce battle with Twin Blade. Now that you defeated Twin Blade, you are left with 2 choices: to 1, either walk away, or 2, to kill him. This will tie into the moral point system. we're gonna take a pause here and talk about the moral point system as it affects a lot of the choices you make throughout the story. I believe that the moral point system is a groundbreaking system that puts Fable above every other role-playing game. This game leaves you with plenty of hard choices to make. Good choices or bad choices. You will be given points based on the type of deed that you do. If there's one thing that I learned from my mom, it's that there's always consequences to your choices, whether it's good or bad. So you gotta be careful here, because when you complete a bad deed, there are harsh consequences to the deed that you did. Based on this information, the people of Albion can either fear you or they can cheer for you. Now, depending on your moral standing, it may affect your appearance. You may be asking me how, but don't worry, I'm about to tell you right now. Now, the interesting thing about having a higher moral standing is that your body starts to glow blue, you start to obtain blonde hair, and you also have a halo over your head. If you're on a bad moral standing, then your heroes will start to have devil horns and also have very pale skin. The key concept of a role-playing game is to feel immersed into the world that you're playing. And Fable does just that by giving you an option to be good or evil. Therefore, having a moral point system allows you to feel very immersed with the game, as it affects the way the people view you and the world you are playing. But that's not all, because having a moral alignment system allows you to replay the game as much as possible in many different ways. With each playthrough, you have the option to make different choices throughout the story. Overall, having a moral point system adds some weight to your character, as it affects the story you're playing and it affects the experience you have with the world. But enough of that moral point system, now let's move on with the story that we have. Now, after the glorious victory against Twin Blade, you encounter your sister. She deadass comes out the blue and is like, "Hey, I'm here." So then, our sister Teresa then decides she wants to leave the bandit life, and she went her separate way. As you advance forward in your adventure and the story goes on, you begin to gain recognition around Albion. At this point, you will definitely know if the people of Albion fear you or if they love you. Eventually, you get invited to an arena battle, and then you have to fight a series of battles against a bunch of different enemies, and eventually you meet the legendary hero, Jack of Blades. After all of that fighting, you get pit against your childhood best friend, Whisper. After this hard-fought battle, you get left with a bullshit choice: either kill Whisper to win a bonus prize, or spare her and not receive that bonus prize. Now Jack, you're one silly bastard if you think I'm gonna kill my best friend. So now the hero meets up with the sister again, and the sister tells him Jack of Blade led the attack on Oakville the night that their parents died. The reason why he attacked the village is because our bloodline has a direct tie to the ancient Archons. Now, the reason why this silly vampire wants my blood is because it will give him access to the strongest sword in this world, which is the Sword of Aeons, which of course is a legendary sword that holds all the power of Albion. To my surprise, the sister then informs the hero that his mother is actually alive and is held in Bargate prison. Now, the hero is set on a mission to defeat Jack of Blades once and for all, but first, he needs to rescue his mother. When the hero arrives to the prison, he then gets captured and locked up for about a year. The hero then looks for his mother to break her out of prison. Now that the hero is in contact with the mother, he sets on a quest to finally defeat Jack of Blades. After everything I've been through to break the mother out of prison, she then gets captured again. Like, how do you get captured right after I break you out? After meeting with Maze, I was told that somebody actually betrayed the guild. You would never guess who it was. Or maybe you did, I might be wrong. Anyway, drumroll. But it turns out it was Maze! That sneaky bastard. He was working for Jack all along. Jack's goal was to retrieve a septimal key, which is used with the living member of the Archon families in order to retrieve the Sword of Aeons. Eventually, you beat Maze and it leads to his confrontation. Maze explains why he betrayed the guild was because he was a coward and he did not want to die. Now look how that's turning out. Like, look at him real closely. Like, look. Like, he's looking like a dumbass right now. He's about to die, bro. Now with that, he saved his sister. With Jack on the loose, he now tries to power the sites that activates the septimal key. The hero is trying to stop him, but it's too late because he sacrifices the hero's mother in order to obtain the sword. The hero then gets angry and fights Jack of Blades in the Chamber of Fate, which is pretty much a burial site for the previous heroes that were a part of the guild. After exchanging plenty of blows, Jack of Blades is defeated. Unless you suck at the game, that's not my fault. But I got you now, Jack. There's no way you're ever gonna come back. That's why I whooped his ass. Now that we defeated Jack, the sword is in our grasp. Now we're left with another choice that affects our moral point system. We either grab the sword, but in order to do so we have to kill our sister, or we can spare our sister and throw the sword in a portal that was left open in order to destroy it. And now come on guys, you know I'm not evil enough to kill my own sister for some power. Of course, every good story has a plot twist. And of course this one is that Jack is not dead, but he's actually a dragon. What? He comes back as a final stage as a dragon, and we have to defeat Jack of Blades once and again. After defeating him, we find out that his soul is actually bounded to his mask. Now you're left with another choice that can make you good or evil. Throw away Jack's mask or give in to temptation and obtain his power. In doing so, you give your body to Jack. So since his mask has his soul, he's able to use his mask in order to take over different bodies such as the dragon. But remember what everybody taught you. Don't do anything bad, so you better not wear that mask. But hey guys, we finished the story, and I know it's very corny and cheeky, but that's what makes this game funny and fun to play. But even though the story is over, it doesn't mean that the game is done. You can still explore and complete all the side quests that you ever wanted to do. But stop, did you think that this was the end of the video? Because it's not. We still have to cover why Fable is the start of one of the greatest RPG franchises out there. Now, let me let you in on a little secret. It's a secret, so you cannot tell nobody, but I'm gonna whisper it to you. Only you. One of the main reasons why Fable is such a great game is because of the gameplay. I would like to start off by talking about the world interactions. One thing that I feel like makes an RPG better than the other is their interaction with the world. I don't know about you guys, but when I play a role-playing game, I want to feel immersed and I want to feel a part of the world, and Fable does just that. Not only does the morality point system help with that, but also the interaction when you have with the people around the world. People either look up to you or they fear you. These world interactions help you determine how you want to play your character. You could interact with almost anything around the world. You could break into somebody's house. You could also buy a house, or you can also rent it out to somebody else. You can find a relationship and get married, or you could get freaky.
Giggity.
Or you can interact with almost any NPC that you want to. You can almost kill everybody in the game. Another great thing about world interactions is the random boss battles you encountered throughout your quest. You're mostly going to be fighting these golems, but they all have different elemental powers. Another notable feature in this game are the side quests. The main story is good, but the side quests are very adventurous. You can be escorting somebody, finding a specific item, or matter of fact, you could even try to open a demon door. Now, I know you might be asking Zappo like, hey, what's a demon door? Well, I'm about to tell you right now. A demon door is pretty much a big gigantic door with a face on it. It tells you, hey, I need you to complete this task for me, and I will open my door to you. And you can find a bunch of different shit inside the door, whether it's like a new weapon set, armor set.
So, you helped the Old One recover his armor. I'll let you through then. Be careful though. I don't want your finger marks all over me.
But check it out guys, the point is that there's 15 different demon doors, and they are a great way to interact with the world because it asks you to do a vast variety of different things while also obtaining very good treasure. Fable has a very expansive world and allows you to complete so much and barely getting bored with the game until you 100% it. I believe that Fable is a one-of-a-kind game. Something that adds to this game is the combat and magic. There are 3 different categories when it comes to combat. 1. Melee, 2. Range, 3. And magic. For melee and range, there's a vast variety of different weapons such as a katana, longsword, hammer, or for range there's even crossbows or bow and arrows, which lets you choose a unique playstyle. But magic plays a very important role because it sets a perfect complement to your fighting style. Magic makes combat more unique. I'll explain more. The good thing about Magic and Fable is that it fits the player's playstyle. There are a vast variety of spells that the hero can use. For example, if you had a tanky playstyle, you can use spells that will heal you or reduce damage that you take greatly. If you were a more damage type of player, you can use spells that do heavy damage such as Fireball or Hellfire, or increase the damage of your weapon. There are plenty of close range and long range spells that you can use in your arsenal, but the good thing for you is that you can have multiple assigned to you at once. Therefore, you have to choose your spells wisely. An interesting thing about some of these spells is that they can actually affect your moral standing. Some spells could be good or some spells could be evil. So you have to watch out with what kind of spells you use because you can be good or bad. Having spells is just one thing, but you can actually upgrade them too and make them stronger. And you can also upgrade the maximum amount of health you have and also the maximum amount of magic you have. Something that piqued my interest is the more that you level up, the more that your character ages. This is a small detail that shows that when you age, you also get stronger. Combat was a very unique way to give the players freedom and ability to customize their own playstyle and level up their skills. Fable was able to give you a lot of freedom considering that it is a game that came out in the early 2000s. But hey, Fable was an amazing game that was so ahead of its time. We had the ability to have the world view you based on your actions. There were plenty of different playstyles that you can use to build your character. There was an advanced moral alignment system. The story was very cheeky and the humor was very corny and charming. The art style fits the game setting and your choices actually matter. Because of that, Albion was a world that you can really feel immersed in. Make the world fear you or make the world love you. The choices are yours to make. Overall, Fable is one of the greatest RPGs to come out. Not only that, the video only covered the first game, which means I have 2 more games to cover. If you want to see me cover Fable 2 and 3, then like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Now with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.